everybody, thank you so much for tuning in to another video of ours. Today we're doing a full appointment. This is a silver balayage touch-up and a bob cut. So for our cut today, we are giving her a just below chin length bob. I always like to start with the back and just point cut in everything so it has a really nice finish at the ends. And then I like to pull everything up and give her some light layering as well. Then I like to hit the sides and the front, texture up a little bit and check with her, see how she likes the cut, and she loves it. Now let's get started on to what we're all really here for, which is the silver balayage. So Shyla gets her hair done once every 6 or 7 months. So I like to just do her roots and any areas that might need to be touched up with a lightener. This is a time lapse. We're about to go into more depth and detail of how I actually put in my foils, but this is just a quick visual for you to see how I do my placement and how I work on the head. Now that we're in real time, this is how I actually apply my foils. My guest has fine textured hair, but she has a decent amount of it. So I do like to take slightly larger sections and do a bold weave because we are trying to make her super blonde. The reason as to taking the bold weave is because I want to see the dimension between the highs and lows. The larger the weave that you have, the more you're going to be able to see the difference between your contrasting pieces, your highlights and your lowlights. If I were to baby light this whole head, yes, she would be super blonde, but it wouldn't have any difference between the two colors because whatever's left out of the foil is too small to actually pick out and see. I'm also planning on doing a root drop with her, so that's why I'm getting as close to the root as possible, and I'm not really worrying about blending her balayage because I know I'm going to blend using a root drop toner. I do have brush preferences. I prefer to work with a brush that's slightly softer bristled so that it gives me a little bit more of that blend rather than a hard edge, hard bristle brush. For people with shorter hair, I actually do use more sections than I do with people with longer hair because it's just harder to fit in short hair into a foil, especially down near the neck, especially for bobs, where the hair is about like an inch or two long. My formulation for my lightener is 20 volume and Blonde Me, as it always is. I prefer Blonde Me because it has a built-in bond builder into the actual lightener can, so I don't have to add anything in. So it's protecting my client's hair and it lifts low and slow, so I don't have to worry about timing either. If you pay attention to how I'm weaving the front of her hair, you'll notice that I'm actually making a money piece without having to do separate foils for the money piece. The whole front of her head is being foiled horizontally up towards her parting, but what I'm doing is I'm taking a really large weave at the very front, which creates a money piece, and everything else is going to be the same weave that I use all over the rest of the head. What this does is it allows me to put in her foils a little bit faster without having to do a separate section for money piece framing, which I would do if I needed to on a client with more dense hair, but because Shyla has fine hair that's pretty easy to weave, it's okay to do this with a horizontal foiling because I'm also going to be dropping down her root. So if you need to save time but still put in a money piece, this is a really good way of foiling because it does both of those really well. If you're a beginner or you're new to hair, I do actually recommend sectioning out your full face halo shape and doing a money piece as practice though, because that is a really good visual for you to learn how to put in a money piece properly. And then once you have that nailed down and you have that as a skill in your tool belt, then it's totally fine to start experimenting with how else you can put in a money piece without having to actually section out the money piece. Up at the top of her head, I am using a pretty large weave because I do really want to see all of that dimension between her hair. But keep in mind, what's actually going into the foil is more like 70 or 80% of the section. I'm not trying to leave out a lot of her hair because she wants to be super blonde. Since she already has an old balayage in there, I don't need to worry about finding my drops later and adding a little bit of brightness to the ends of them. I hope that this is a helpful tool for you guys. Please leave comments below if there's anything you'd like to personally see from me and my channel, and I hope that these videos are educational for you guys. You should also note that I'm giving the hair really good saturation in every single foil, which concludes in an even lift everywhere because we want her to be as bright as possible. When you close your foils, never zip the bottom because then you'll get a line in your highlight. Now that she's done processing, I'm getting my assistant to take out her foils and tone her in the sink. I always love a foil pull video, so that's why I leave them up here for you guys. It's not that it's super important, it's just really satisfying. I mean, I guess there is some kind of importance in it. You want to see how light the foils lift before you want to take them out. So this is how light my foils lift. They basically look blue because of the blue in the bleach, but that's how light they are. Our toner formulation is Schwarzkopf 811 and 819, and I'm doing a darker level and super ashy because I don't want her to have any warmth in her hair. There is no warmth in silver, so we do want to go a level down from where she is at and add only ash because that's how you get silver. You almost never really get a silver color if you're staying on the level of what the hair lifted to. And I'm just realizing I forgot to film her root shadow color. Her root shadow was a 7-1 and a little bit of 663 from Schwarzkopf. I put that in after I put on my silver toner and I smudged it around the root, and then we blow dried her and curled her, and here is her final result. In order to give her these messy waves, I just used a large barrel curling iron and I curled everything in opposing directions. I didn't curl everything all to the back. So here is the final result. She's been hairsprayed, her hair's been played with, and she is a true beautiful silver. It's super dimensional. This is gonna last her a really long time. And as always, Shyla loves her hair and she's one of my favorite clients, and I was really happy to have her in my chair. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please remember to like and subscribe and support small businesses. Thanks everyone.